5 painful signs he's not truly in love. He's just settling for you. There's a difference between a man loving you and a man simply getting comfortable with you. And the painful part, many women don't realize the difference until they've already invested years of their emotions, loyalty, body, peace, and time into a relationship that was never deeply rooted in love. A man who is truly in love with you makes you feel emotionally safe, wanted, chosen, and valued. But a man who is only settling, he stays because it's convenient, because you're available, because starting over feels harder, because loneliness scares him more than losing you. And ladies, that truth hurts, because sometimes the relationship looks fine on the outside. He still calls, he still comes home, he still sleeps beside you. But deep down, something feels emotionally empty, forced, one-sided, like you're constantly trying to earn a love that should naturally flow. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 painful signs he's not truly in love, he's just settling for you. And trust me, some of these signs are subtle, raw, and deeply relatable for many mature women. I want you to stay until the very end, because the last sign is the one many women ignore the longest, and it usually costs them the most emotionally. Now let's talk about the first painful sign. 1. You feel emotionally lonely even when he's around. This is one of the saddest feelings a woman can experience. You're in a relationship, but you still feel alone. He's physically present, but emotionally unavailable. Conversations feel dry. Affection feels forced. You can feel the emotional distance every single day. You start noticing that you're the one always trying to connect, trying to communicate, trying to keep the relationship emotionally alive. A man who truly loves you wants to know you deeply. He wants to hear your thoughts, your fears, your stories, your random little moments. But a man who is settling usually only engages on a surface level, and over time, you start feeling like roommates instead of lovers. The painful part is that many women try to fix this loneliness by giving more of themselves, more understanding, more patience, more sacrifice, hoping he'll eventually wake up and love them properly. But real love shouldn't constantly feel emotionally starving. And sadly, that emotional starvation usually leads to the second sign. 2. He only shows effort when he feels he might lose you. Notice this carefully. When you're quiet, distant, pulling away, or emotionally exhausted, suddenly he changes. Suddenly he texts more. Suddenly he becomes sweet. Suddenly he notices you again. But the moment you relax and reconnect emotionally, he goes cold again. That's not consistent love. That's fear of losing comfort. A man who truly loves you doesn't wait until you're halfway out the door before treating you right. He values you consistently. He protects the relationship before it starts falling apart. But a man who is settling often does the bare minimum to keep you from leaving, not because he deeply cherishes you, but because he doesn't want to lose what benefits him emotionally, physically, or financially. And mature women eventually notice this pattern. You start realizing that the relationship only improves when you're suffering enough to pull away. That realization slowly changes how you see him, and that leads directly into the next painful sign. 3. He stops pursuing you emotionally and intimately. When a man is truly in love, he never completely stops courting you emotionally. Yes, relationships mature, life gets busy, people get older, but genuine love still seeks connection. It still seeks affection, intimacy, passion, presence. But when a man is merely settling, he slowly becomes passive. He stops trying to impress you, stops trying to emotionally seduce you, stops caring about keeping the spark alive. Physical intimacy starts feeling routine, disconnected, or emotionally empty. Sometimes it even begins to feel like obligation instead of desire. And ladies, women can feel when they are no longer deeply desired. A mature woman notices when kisses become cold, when compliments disappear, when touch loses emotional meaning, when conversations become transactional instead of intimate. You can almost feel yourself becoming emotionally invisible inside the relationship. And once a woman starts feeling invisible, resentment quietly begins to grow. Which brings us to the fourth sign. 4. He makes you feel good enough, but never truly chosen. This one cuts deep. Some women are not loved passionately, they are simply tolerated comfortably. You're good enough to stay with, good enough to cook for him, support him, sleep beside him, build with him. But somehow you never fully feel chosen. You don't feel prioritized emotionally. He hesitates when it comes to deeper commitment. He struggles to reassure you emotionally. He rarely speaks about a future with excitement. Sometimes you even feel like if someone better came along, he would emotionally drift away without much resistance. And ladies, a woman can survive many things, but it's very hard to survive feeling unwanted in the relationship you're fully invested in. A man who truly loves you gives you emotional security naturally. You don't constantly question where you stand. You don't feel like you're competing for basic affection. But when a man is settling, uncertainty becomes part of the relationship. And unfortunately, living too long in uncertainty slowly destroys a woman's confidence. Which leads to the final and perhaps most heartbreaking sign. 5. Deep down, your spirit already knows. This is the sign many women try the hardest to ignore. Your intuition has been whispering to you for a long time. You feel it during the silent dinners, during the emotionally empty intimacy, during the moments you're crying beside a man who barely notices your emotional pain, during the moments you have to beg for basic affection, reassurance, attention, or effort. Deep down, you already know something is missing. Women are emotionally intelligent by nature. Most of the time, your spirit recognizes emotional truth long before your mind accepts it. But many women stay because of history, fear, age, children, financial comfort, hope, or simply because they've already invested so much emotionally. And that's what makes settling relationships so dangerous. They don't always explode dramatically. Sometimes they slowly drain a woman emotionally year after year until she no longer recognizes herself. And ladies, you deserve more than tolerated love. You deserve a relationship where you feel emotionally safe, deeply desired, appreciated, respected, heard, and genuinely chosen. Because real love doesn't constantly leave you questioning your worth. If you made it this far, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with another woman who may need this message today. And remember this, ladies, never confuse someone being comfortable with you for someone deeply in love with you.